Good morning, students. I hope you are good and fine at home. So, here I am with my lecture number 3 of Elementary Economics, class 9th. So, in this video, we will be covering the remaining parts of chapter number 1, that is, meaning and definition of economics. We have completed 2 videos covering this chapter, and this is the third video. Just in the previous video, I have explained the definition of economics according to Robinson, its features and its demerits, and also the comparison between the Adam Smith definition plus the Robinson definition. So in this video we will cover the remaining topics. So let's proceed to our topic number 1, that is human problem oriented definition. Just in my lecture number 1, I have already told you that there were four groups. First was wealth, that we have already discussed. Second was scarcity, which we have discussed in the lecture number 2. And third was problem oriented, which we are going to discuss just now. So human problem oriented definition was given by Keynes. Just remember this name, do not get confused. This problem is given by Keynes. The question can be asked by defining write the Keynes definition also, or it can come in the form of explain the human problem oriented definition of economics. So the both the answers will be same. So this definition is given by Keynes. Now what is this definition of economics? Just according to Keynes, what is economics? Economics is an just economic theory of total spending in the economy. Now according to Keynes, what is economics? Economics is all about total spending by the government. Total spending by the government, how much expenditure the government is spending on the consumers. Economics is all about according to Keynes. And what is the effect of such total spending on the output? Means what is the result of such spending? Total effect on the output and also the inflation. Now what is inflation? Inflation means when the prices rise high, that is the condition of inflation. When the prices rises high, that is known as inflation. Now according to Keynes, the economics is all about total spending in the economy, total expenditure of the government, and what will be the effect of such expenditure on the output and your inflation. And according to what will be the exact definition given by Keynes, from here to here is the exact definition which you need to write very exactly without missing a single word. He defines economics as an interpretation of current economic life or as a study of economic society in which we live. So according to him, what is economics? Economics is finding the current economic life. What is the situation of the current economic society in which we are living? Whether that economy is at boost, whether the economy is at a mediocre level, or whether the economy is going at the backward level. So finding out what is the current economic position of our country in which we are living. So Keynes focused on the total spending, means total spending by the government. The main role according to Keynes have been given to government, that how much expenditure the government is spending and what will be the effect of such spending on the output and the inflation. So I hope so you must have got the definition of human problem oriented definition given by Keynes. So let's proceed to the topic number 2, that is features of Keynes theory. Now what are the features? First feature is more emphasis on the demand aspects of the economic activities. Now, according to Keynesian economics, for the Keynes theory, we also call the Keynesian economics. The primary focus was built on the demand aspects. Now, what is demand? Demand is the intense desire to purchase a commodity. Demand is when you want something to purchase. When you are willing to purchase, plus you have the capacity to pay for that product. Demand means willingness plus the ability to pay the products. There are various things, students, you demands, you desires, but you cannot purchase it. So demand will be called as demand when you are willing to purchase the goods, and also you have the ability to pay for the price of that good. So that will be called as a demand. So primary factor in economic growth, thus according to Keynesian economics, believe that the primary factor in the economic growth is the demand for goods and services. How much the consumers are demanding and producing according to the demand. Their main focus is focusing on how much the consumers are demanding and producing the goods accordingly to it. While just in comparison, the the other economics believe that the production of goods and services should be the primary factor for the economic growth, while they focuses on the supply side. They focuses on the supply side. So there is a completely a contrast between the Keynesian economics, and the other economics. The Keynesian economics believe the demand aspects, demand how much the consumers are demanding and producing the goods accordingly to it, while the other economics, they focuses on the supplying, means they do not care about how much the consumers are demanding or what quality they want. They simply focuses on the production of goods and services. So that is the most important feature of Keynes theory. Let's proceed to the point number 2, that is greater emphasis on government intervention just in economic activities. Now, Keynes was of the opinion that the economic performance of a society could be achieved by influencing aggregate demand. We just according to Keynes, the economic we can achieve the economic growth by boosting up the demand. By boosting up the aggregate means the total combined demand of all the people living in a society. So that could be achieved by influencing the aggregate demand. And how we can influence that aggregate demand? By making a government fiscal policy. By making a fiscal policy. Now, what is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy means government expenditure and taxation policy. Fiscal policy has two parts. First is expenditure, how much expenditure the government will spend on the consumers, means on various activities like construction of roads, building bridges. And the other is taxation policy, just in what form the government will put the taxes on various commodities just to spend on the consumers. So fiscal policy is divided into two parts: government expenditure and taxation policy. So according to Keynes theory, the main focus is given on the government intervention. He believed that the economic growth could be achieved by framing a proper and the good fiscal policy. Then only we would be able to achieve the economic growth. Then only we would be able to achieve the aggregate demand, and that would be possible only by the government fiscal policy. So in this Keynes definition, greater emphasis is given for the government activities. So I hope so it is clear to you. Let's come to the point number third, the emphasis on the psychology of individual behavior. Now, this according to Keynesian economists, they focuses on the psychology, uncertainty, and expectations in driving individual behavior so as to influence aggregate demand. Now, what the Keynes believe that we can we can influence the psychology. We can influence the psychology. What is psychology? Psychology means the way of thinking, the way in which the consumers think in purchasing the commodities. So according to the Keynes, he believed that we can influence the psychology of the human beings while purchasing the products, and thus they can influence the aggregate demand, the total demand of a society. So this Keynes theory has emphasis on the psychology of individual behavior also, because when the government fiscal policy will be made, that will influence the psychology, that will influence the aggregate demand also, and the consumers will act accordingly to the government fiscal policy. So I hope so you have got all the three features of the Keynes theory. So let's proceed to the next topic, that is demerits or criticism of Keynesian theory. Now the first demerit is a rise in the government expenditure may lead to fall in the private investment. Now according to Keynes theory, they focuses on the government expenditure, government fiscal policy, government policy. He believed that the government expenditure should increased, government investment should increased, government expenditure, or you can say investment also, government investment or expenditure to increase. But if the government expenditure will increase, so that automatically will lead to the fall in the private investment, that automatically will lead to a fall in the private investment. And as we know, our country is a mixed economy. Mixed economy means where the ownership of private plus public exist, so there should be a proper balance between the private and the public sector. And if the government only alone does the investment, does the expenditure on the consumers, then the private sector will lose its importance and may lead to a fall in the private investment also. So according to the major drawback in the Keynesian theory is that he has given the sole focus on the government expenditure and has ignored totally the private expenditure. So it suggested that the government should spend more to overcome the problem of economic recession, but the rise in the government investment may lead to a fall in the private investment, which is the major drawback in this definition. So I hope so you have got this point. Let's come to the point number 2, that is influence of political and bureaucratic pressures upon the fiscal policy of the government. Now what the Keynesian economists believe, that whatever fiscal policy the government is making, he believed that such government policy should be made by wise man and it should not be influenced by political pressures. Now what is political pressures? Means there should not be any biasness, there should not be any favorism, biasness, there should not be any corruption, you can say, just in simple words. But these are only the imaginary things, and in real life these factors influence the government policy. He has assumed that whatever fiscal policy the government is making, that should be made by a wise people, and also it should not be influenced by any type of corruption. But is that practical in real life? But is that be practical in real life? No, that is not possible in the real life, because in real life these factors influence these, however ignorant we may be, but these factors are existing in our country, and these factors influence the policy, some decisions of the government. So assumption should be made while considering the real life situation of a country, which the Keynes theory has totally ignored. So I hope so you must have got this point. uh, this according to Keynes, the economic policy, the fiscal policy should be made by a wise man and should not be influenced by any political pressure or corruption. But in real life these factors do influence the government policy, and these factors cannot be ignored. So I hope so you have got this point. Point number 3 is monetary policy might be more suitable to tackle the economic problem. Keynes have made um, just only fiscal policy to solve the economic problems. He has developed fiscal policy, which means the government expenditure and taxation only, to remove all types of problems. But is that be possible, that only the fiscal policy could be used just in solving the economic problems? No. Rather, monetary policy should be made to solve such problems. And now, what is the meaning of monetary policy? Policy to control money supply by the central bank. First focus should be to control the money supply. How much money will be generated among the consumers, will be released just among the consumers, how much money the central bank will keep with himself, how much money will be provided to the consumers as loans. So the focus should be on monetary policy rather on fiscal policy, but according to Keynes, he has given more emphasis on fiscal policy rather than on monetary policy. So I hope so you have got all the three features, sorry, three demerits of Keynesian theory. So let's come to the on the last topic of this lecture, that is comparison between Smith's and Keynes definition. We have already studied one comparison which was between the Adam Smith definition and Robinson definition. Now in this we are going to study the comparison between the Adam Smith definition and the Keynes definition. Now first is measurement. How do we measure? Just in the Smith definition, we measure in terms of wealth, because his main focus is on the creation of wealth. The country will be rich, will be regarded as rich when the people will earn more and more wealth. While according to Keynes, they measure in terms of output, they measure in terms of income and employment. So all these three factors are considered in Keynes, and in Adam Smith, term wealth is considered. Now second is aspects. Which aspects is given the importance? So in Adam Smith definition, he is concerned with the supply aspects, means the production of goods and services. Supply means producing the goods, and not looking over the demand, while demand means just estimating the requirements of the consumers and then producing the goods accordingly to it. And Keynes is concerned with the demand aspects. Third one is government role. Just in Adam Smith, no government intervention is there, while in Keynes, the government prepares the fiscal policy, because the fiscal policy plays a major role and that would be prepared by the government. So I hope so you have got the comparison between both the terms, both the economics, and you need to learn at least two of the differences. And just if you have any doubt, you can comment in the comment section. Hope you have got this whatever I have taught to you, and this is the end of lecture number 3. Just thank you for watching. and do like and subscribe my channel. Till then, be safe. Have a nice day.